Hello, Jason's and Melissa's editor Tim here with some quick announcements before we get this episode started. As you can see, this is not a traditional breakdown episode, for myself, Adele, and Marcin are on vacation. We're all getting away for a weekend together, and quite honestly, we needed it. Instead of leaving you with nothing, we're going to give you this bonus episode where we chat a little bit about vacations and creative burnout, and then have a little surprise at the end. We'll be back next week with a regular episode. Until then, enjoy this bonus episode. Movies will not be talked about this week because we are on vacation. And we just wanted to drop like a little bonus episode, one with this little intro to let people know kind of what's going on with us. And then we got a little surprise afterwards. So, yeah, guys, we're not going to be in town this weekend.
Yeah, we need a break.
Big break.
Yeah. It's so funny because a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, we just recorded the Wizards Baker episode that dealt with Brandon dealt with Brendan dealing with creative burnout. And, we could talk about that, I think, forever. I think it's something that everyone who is a creative type has dealt with.
And not even just creative people. People have burnt out on life.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. So, we're going on vacation. We're going to take a little summer vacation. We're only going to be gone for 1 week, so
Little breaky for me.
Yeah.
yes.
Which is, it's important to take a break,
Absolutely.
especially in this climate.
Yeah. Go outside with your friends, enjoy their company. Just take a moment to embrace the moment.
Yeah. Live in the moment. Connect with friends, community. Even if you don't have friends, go on a solo vacation. If you can't afford a vacation, go on a vacation in your head. Take a bath. I don't know.
Get a popsicle.
Yeah.
And go look at something that isn't traffic.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's, it's something we were so used to it when we went to school, right?
Yeah.
We would have spring break, summer break.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, why can't we need scheduled breaks?
Yeah.
Humans need play, whimsy.
It's not just for
Seriously.
kids.
Yeah,
It's really not. And that's the shame, is it is traditionally for kids because school and stuff, but what adult couldn't use a little spring break or even a nice summer break?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
could you imagine having like a 2 to 3 months that you were like waiting to just not work?
Yeah.
You'd be so much more productive in the time that you were working
Absolutely.
because you had something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Maybe we're asking for too little. You know what? We want summer vacations. Yeah.
The only people who get them are teachers.
Yeah, and all the teachers I know, a majority of them, still work in one way, shape, or form through the summer anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's
a lot
just-
of them can't afford to not work during the summer, so some of them will even do summer school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I know a lot of teachers, surprisingly now. It's very funny hanging out with teachers because they're like, I don't know anything, and I'm supposed to tell these kids what I know. But they're always working through summer. We always have to work. But yeah, that aside, like, please take a vacation.
Yeah.
Please relax. Please just, as my cousin Eddie will say, you need a spot where you turn everything off and just like protect your mental health and peace. Don't give up on everything else, but just like take a break.
Yeah. The
One-
nervous system needs it.
Yeah, 100%. And, to be completely honest, the reason we're doing this little bonus episode instead of me trying to like kind of crunch to edit and get an episode ready in half the time I normally do, I feel kind of defeated the purpose of us going away for a weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to release this episode as just a little bonus, and I'll go ahead and spoil this surprise at the end of this little introduction here. We will be playing the completely unedited version of the Creative Corner when we had our guest, David, last name redacted, because...
He starts off the Creative Corner by saying he wishes he had 17 creative corners. And then goes through several more.
Yeah. All of it very interesting.
Yeah. And
genuinely one of my favorite things about David is the conversations that we get to have, especially when I get him going on movies.
Oh, yeah.
Or video games that we're both very into.
I think I said at one point, like, and you don't want to have a movie podcast with this man? Because, there's so many fucking movie podcasts. But if there was one that warranted a podcast for movies, it's David.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. So we will drop at the end of this, we'll drop the completely unedited Creative Corner. So it'll be a treat because David's wasn't the only one that got edited down. Everybody got edited down for time. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good discussion. It was a great discussion, but we all got like edited down just to save time.
Right.
Another thing on top of that, I don't know if this would be a good example of what we have thought about doing for a spinoff, because we've talked about doing something like "And I'm Obsessed With," which is essentially just someone talking about their obsessions, or like just making the full podcast The Creative Corner, where we go through our individual creative corners, but like at a full length, in depth.
Right.
So we're still trying to kick around what we want to do after this, and we're in the final season. So maybe if this is something you like, let us know.
Yeah. So I have gotten, I don't know why it took me so long to really like create a Spotify creator account so I can manage comments and, get better analytics and stuff like that for the podcast. But that actually also gave us the ability to do polls on episodes.
Nice.
So I think there will come a time where we do put up a poll because, some people want us to continue the breakdown format just with a different show. Some people are like, yeah, you guys can just talk about anything. I'm here for the ride. So I would love to get a little more feedback on that. I think regardless of what does happen, obviously this is all conversations that we'll have, but, speaking of creative burnout, I'm not too sure if that did happen, if we would still continue a weekly release schedule.
Right.
Because it's, that's pretty taxing.
Yeah.
I took this on as a passion project.
Oh, absolutely.
A passion project with an expiration date, knowing that the time is coming soon that I need to shift focus from the podcast to getting married. So
I mean, and just relaxing, like we just said about vacations, and the whole hustle culture is so toxic, and trying to get, honestly, more power to you doing a weekly schedule on this podcast and sticking to it. Like, bravo, you like putting in the work to do that, but doing that is so fucking taxing, and I don't understand how people can do it. It is a lot. It is a lot to put out multiple things at the same time. Because also Tim does like open mics every single week on top of that, and you also have time to like play video games because you like put that like break that you need on the day. Couldn't be me. I am a terrible workaholic because of what this country has done. But again, vacations, weekly. We've talked about doing bi-weekly at some point, or even monthly, depending on like the big projects we've thought about doing.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be listener drop-offs it's just what happens. Like my favorite podcasts that I love to death, after a certain point, I'm like, it's just a drop-off. And so like, it's what's going to happen, but we have to change if we want, to go through.
Yeah, 100%. And as far as like, oh, well, you guys should do this show or that show, I've told so many people, when this podcast started, I was like, oh yeah, we'll figure out another show, we'll keep it going. But now it's at a point where I have seen the mountain of work that goes into it.
Right.
And I've said this so many times on the pod and off. I don't know if there's any other show on this planet that I love and connected with so much as with home movies that I'm willing to put in the time. Somebody said Bob's Burgers once, and I just look at the number of seasons and episodes, and I'm just like, I don't think...
We'd be here for years just on Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Eddie about it off off the podcast, obviously, about what shows, and we then had like an hour-long conversation about so many different shows he would want us, like a bunch of Adult Swim shows he wanted. Well, we talked about Moral Oral. If we did do Moral Oral, it would be less of a like scene-by-scene breakdown and more of just a discussion about how the episode made us feel. An open-ended conversation. We brought up Metalocalypse at one point to continue the Brendan Smalls history, which I wouldn't be opposed to. I've never seen it. I would love to do Ed, Ed, and Eddie if that wasn't already like a beloved show, which I'm sure has a bunch of pods. That would be one I could like break down scene by scene because it's such a like lovely show, and I love that one. Me and Ed had several things we talked about, but at the end, if we really wanted to just throw a wrench in and be like, let's do something that's short and fun and stupid, rewatching Mr. Meaty was one that me and Eddie were like, we should do that. But
I don't think I know what that is.
I've never seen that.
What
I have no
is this?
idea.
okay, you guys talk amongst yourself while I pull up a picture real quick because holy shit, yes you
Was
do.
this on Adult Swim?
This was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, and I've never. Okay, all right.
Mind the age gap now. I grew up on a different Nickelodeon than you grew up on.
Oh no, I understand you and your Ren and Stimpy and O'Grady and whatever it
Grew
was.
up on O'Grady.
I'm gonna sing the theme song where it's like, fresh off the grill, so come on down to Mr. Meaty, we're friends meaty. Meat.
I have no recollection. What year?
You've seen
Oh,
this.
okay.
You've
All right.
seen this.
Never mind. That was not what I was picturing in my head.
I know you have glasses.
Oh, it's two guys that work at like they're two puppets.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
two.
God.
This is a thing that a lot of people who talk about Mr. Meaty on like outside of it, they're like, oh, that was a fever dream. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. I've talked to several people about it and bringing it up. Because a friend of mine was like, I'm going to take shrooms and watch Teen Titans. I was like, cool, can you watch Mr. Meaty? And they're like, no, I'll die. But
Yeah, seeing that picture, you just like rip something out of the recesses of my mind.
yeah, it'd be weird going down a direction where we actually like have nightmares instead of just having a great time every time. But yeah, that's just a discussion we've had off the
We've
pod.
also talked about doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah, which is something I definitely wanted to bring up because I thought, with the last episode of this podcast more than likely being us doing a tier list of all the episodes, I figured that was something we could do in a video format as well. So it'd be like a cool bridge to gap the podcast and a YouTube video. Now, because I won't get into too much details about one of my jobs, but I work at a place that's got some very interesting shit. And just like walking around that place, I have so many ideas for like goofy videos and challenges and stuff like that I thought. But again, that would be something that realistically, 1, maybe 2 videos a month. I wouldn't really want to do much more than that.
Right.
I would say strong stay on one video a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about it with these guys of like I would want to legitimately do a Taskmaster live show, but it would be one episode because it would take forever.
Yeah.
But like those are just some ideas we've kicked around. I would love to see what ideas you have for stuff you want to do, Adele.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure.
We'll we'll be walking around, just like running around, and then we'll see something that will give us an idea. We went to like a liquidation place, and like where things are like $1 for like some really cool stuff. It'd be fun to like go there and find some interesting finds.
Yeah.
And I know we've thought of like doing art challenges and
Oh yeah.
So we've got some ideas kicking around the dome.
Yeah.
But we'd like to know what you think
Yeah.
because ultimately, please, it's you who are going to listen to it,
Right.
and I
Absolutely.
need to know.
And
Yeah.
hey, Spotify has a comment section.
Yeah,
Comment. What do
That's
you think?
honestly, that's your best bet
Yeah.
right there. So, and I guess one more thing before we go ahead and tie all this up. Since we're talking about Spotify comments, I just want to give a very heartfelt shout out and thank you to everyone who has been leaving Spotify comments. And anybody who's been emailing. I know Marcin, well, I guess the way this comes out, Marcin talks about at the end of the next episode. Whoopsie. But no, Marcin did touch base on it at the end of one of the episodes. But like a genuine and heartfelt. The thing is, with the community that we have kind of created, it's very small. It's, we're not pulling like crazy numbers or anything. So anyone who leaves a comment or emails us, like, we read it all, we see it all. So the people who have been reaching out and leaving comments and stuff like that, it's been so kind and so nice, and honestly a breath of fresh air to see some positivity on the internet. So we really do appreciate that. And I just want to give a nice shout out to people who have been leaving comments in Spotify and sending us emails and stuff like that. Real MVPs. We've gotten a couple 5-star ratings, and I will have a new 5-star review to read at the end of the next podcast.
Nice.
Yes, I love that one, genuinely.
Yeah.
Just because it was sweet and nice. I don't know. It, like I said, helps me get through the day.
Yeah.
It really does. As creative types, that's genuinely what kind of pushes us to keep it going. So, with that being said, we are going to enjoy our vacation now. So,
Oh, that fucking crow keeps... There it goes again.
Oh shit! It just fell in the sky. That's an omen.
uh-oh.
That's an omen for everybody to go take a vacation. I don't know.
Because he was so burnt out, he just couldn't fly
Yep.
anymore.
That bird needed a vacation.
It really did.
There you go. So, that's going to do it. Now, I would hope you enjoy a very, very long, very unedited cut of the Creative Corner from Season 4, Episode 1. Everyone's entitled to my opinion, with our very, very good friend that everybody knows, David.
Beep.
Last name redacted.
I just noticed that elephant has nipples.
What? Oh, Ganesh.
Yes.
Was that sacrilegious?
What?
Oh.
He's really cool.
I mean,
Nipples
deities can have nipples.
Okay, fair. Okay, bye. Track last season.
No.
Yeah, so please bring us in. Count.
Creative Corner. Totally do.
Are you telling me that he's going to be here the entire time?
I think he's just gonna stand in the corner and watch us.
Every episode?
It's a contract, dude.
His dick's just out.
Don't worry, it's fake. It's a prosthetic.
Put some clothes on.
No.
So, for this creative corner, we do have a guest, so we're gonna keep them a little abbreviated. Who would like to go first, or shall I?
You.
Oh, okay. So my creative corner, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think we've all heard of the game Pokemon Go. Not a fan. Not the biggest fan. I played a little bit when it came out, but I really wasn't feeling it. But I actually got into a different game that was very similar. That was, instead of collecting Pokemon, it was killing zombies. Right?
How very similar, I suppose.
Well, it's the same premise as you're walking around. You have to encounter the zombies. It was just an excuse for me to get out and walk.
Gotcha.
Basically.
It's mobile.
This one was based on a very popular TV series about killing zombies. Don't have to name it, because these motherfuckers shut that game down because they had too many cheaters. And instead of figuring out how to get rid of cheaters, they just shut the entire fucking game down. So I've been looking for something to kind of scratch that itch, and this dude shows up, solo developer, and makes this game called Zombie Streets for mobile devices. Android, Apple, doesn't matter. Basically the same premise. You are walking around, you are encountering zombies, you are killing them. It is an excuse to just get up and walk around. It scratches so many of the same itches as the game I used to play. There is like little clans and communities. Everybody's been really cool, and it's a super fun game. And it's an excuse for me to get off of my ass and walk around for a little bit. So the game is called Zombie Streets. Super simple app, solo developer, and again, just a good excuse to walk around and get some exercise.
Do they have the same cheating situations?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, so far, I've been playing it for a few days, and I haven't encountered anything like that. Usually you can tell when there's some kind of cheater because of, like, leaderboard discrepancies, and it doesn't seem like we have much like that. Like, there are clans that are going after kind of, like, community missions, and everybody, by and large, is, like, in the same area. So it's not like, oh, this team has 1,000 kills and this team has 1,200 kills and this team has 1.6 million kills. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that. But it's just like, here's a bunch of challenges. You have, I think, like 24 people in your clan. You all just work towards the challenges, and then you unlock stuff, and then kind of put yourself up against other clans. So
in a mobile game where you're walking around, the way that I visualized them cheating was them like walking up to you and being like, no, I'm gonna kill these guys. They push you onto the ground and they take your device. And I don't know why that's the only thing I can think of as far as cheating. I know it's probably some sort of hacking or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a GPS hacking kind of thing where they were able to manipulate their GPS without actually moving, or if they were able to like actually manipulate in-game items and get items for free to throw off the economy. Don't know, don't care. I just know that one day I went to play the game and it wasn't fucking there. So Adele and I, for a couple of days, I was like, I need to find another game like that. And I downloaded probably like 6 or 7 different games. We started talking. Did you know there was a Witcher game like that? Not around anymore. There was a Harry Potter game like that? Not around anymore. There was a Ghostbusters game like that? Not around anymore.
Damn it, that sounds amazing.
They were all good concepts, but just very poorly executed.
They're like, we didn't make enough money this time, so goodbye.
Right. So, but Zombie Streets is pretty fun. It's what I like about any app is there's no ads unless you're like, hey, here's a reward. You want to double it? Watch an ad. But you don't have to if you don't want to.
I just mute them and usually turn my phone away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does this app, like, is there like items where you can pay real world money and then they help?
I'm sure there is. Or if you just play the game, you would inevitably unlock these items.
Yeah, but like,
right.
So, like pay to win?
I could see some pay to win aspects, but it's nothing that's going to, again, like cause you to basically dominate the leaderboards and stuff like that. A
lot of these mobile games, they have what's called like whales.
Whales?
Yes.
The 0.5% of players that will spend big money on these
and
games.
So that's what, like, sometimes they shut it down if there aren't enough, like,
whales.
any whales. And they're like, well, we don't have any whales here, so let's just shut this down. And maybe the whale will try to get them to come in a new game.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's...
Same with card games.
Yeah.
They ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't even try to play Magic because of that. Fuck that. I hate that. So we're gonna, make these games and just predominantly like market them to rich people.
Right.
Fuck
But this is absolutely a game that you can play and not put any money into and still have fun. There's no like time locks or anything that's going to stop you from playing the game. And it's a kind of game I can load it up on my phone right now, and from where I sit, I can throw out a couple encounters, fight some zombies and stuff like that, and then just shut the app down. But then when I'm ready to like actually go for a walk, then it's like, oh, it's on. Let's go. Like that's when I really start playing. So, yep, Zombie Streets. I highly recommend it.
I long for the days of the summer that Pokemon Go came out, and I just walked out.
It was
Dude.
so magical.
It was.
Talking to strangers on the street without fear.
Right? I walked over, like, I was just walking out, and, like, everyone was outside. I came out, I was at a convention when it came out, but I remember going in my hometown, and I was walking around, and I saw this dude talking to this other dude, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's really cool talking to you, man. Hey, what's your name? He's like, my name's Jake, and he's like, oh, that's my name! It was such a wild moment, but I yearned for the days where we could, like, create that instead of being hidden in our hibie holes.
It was an app that actually like got people out of their house and together, which was kind of wholesome.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, I can just play it from the inside of my house.
And now it trains AI, so...
Yeah.
I ran 2 different comedy open mics that were around very high traffic Pokemon Go areas. So my sister and I would just play Pokemon Go, and then like when there's a group, be like, oh, hey, did you hear there's an open mic right up the street? That's weird.
Did you hear this is a podcast?
So, but yes, so my creative corner this episode, Zombie Streets, free mobile app. Check it out.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Who would like to go next?
Me.
That's Adele.
That's me, Adele.
No, it's me.
Marcin and I sound the same. So my creative corner is a singer by the name of Sophia Acella. I actually sent one of her songs to Marcin. It was Oh, let me collect my thoughts because she's so good. So she has kind of like a darker undertone to her music, but she talks about a lot of like really important stuff. The song that I sent to Marcin was called "All of Human Knowledge Made Us Dumb," and it centers around how like having phones at our disposal and knowing everything, but also knowing nothing at the same time is ruining us as a species. There's also other songs by her. Crowd Caffeine actually talks a lot about like AI and how this society is trying to make man the machine and make machine man. Oh, I just got goosebumps saying that. I'm sorry. And then a song called The Doll People, which is about like the objectification of women. And then there's also another song called I have it up here. Sorry.
It was not called Do 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 Do.
It's sorry. Edit that out.
I'm just a little stinker. I'm sorry.
Where did it go? Everybody listening to the podcast, don't listen to this part.
Everybody.
It's called Everybody Supports Women, and it's about how women are all about like supporting each other until one of them is doing really well, and then all of a sudden the women hate that one woman because they see her as competition, and it's kind of like shining a light on that, which I don't feel like is talked about enough, because like we should all as people be lifting each other up instead of seeing each other as competition.
Absolutely.
But yeah, her music is very like dark but also very beautiful and haunting, and that's like my bread and butter. So if you're interested in that, go check it out.
What was her name again?
Her name is Sophia Acela.
You sent me that song, and then I don't know how it happened because I love the song. It was so spooky, and it was like I kind of had to sit with my thoughts afterwards because it's so real. Mm-hmm. But I saw her live performance of that song, and
So
she first off asked the crowd, "Hey, if anyone's okay with like contact, raise your hand like this, and if not, just like back off." And she's singing it, and in that the lyrics are something along the lines of like, "We lost our contact with people," and she, as she's walking up to her fans through the crowd, she's like, touching their hands and like actually making contact with them. And that is where like art and actual community, actual human connection really just comes in, because it's exactly what we're missing in this day and age, is just one, understanding, but connection. It's wild that the internet has given us this way to contact people from across the globe, and yet we don't know each other. We can't show each other anything because things like Twitter has like made it impossible.
Right. Well, we think we have this connection, but I mean, in reality, the internet is just the best part of ourselves that we want people to see. It's not actually connecting with anybody.
Yeah. Or the worst parts of people that we don't want to see.
Yeah. It's not actually like human contact. It's the
some
illusion
people
of it.
have the literal world at their fingertips with their phones, and they just use it to spew hate and shittiness towards other people. It's wild.
Yeah. There's a lyric in that song that said everybody looks better when they're in the phone. And it's just, go listen to it.
Her live performance of Doll People is fucking crazy.
She always wears like baggy clothes because she doesn't want to be objectified. And she gets like when you see her live, like you can see like the rage behind her eyes, and she's only 20 years old. She's so young.
Damn.
It's just like, oh my God. Talking about her gives me goosebumps because she's just amazing.
Well, I don't want to get too much into this. If you can cut this out if you want, but like she's 20 years old, and like 5 years ago was COVID. Like you had the world shatter in front of you watching that happen. So I can only imagine the rage that fuels you knowing that this is all an illusion.
Yeah, because like when we were 15, like we were just farting around in high school, not doing anything serious, and
I wasn't farting. Don't tell people that.
Okay, Marcin was farting up a storm.
No shit, dude! I didn't know.
But it's like there was nothing like earth-shattering or perceptive shifting when we were teenagers. Where with this generation, it's like, oh my God,
every other day.
I worry for their mental health, but I also know that the art that's going to come out of this generation is going to be insane. It already is.
Right.
So I'm just.
Yeah, to be 20 and like get it that much, that's...
Yeah, I wish.
Also, feel free to edit this out, but have you heard of Julian Baker?
That name sounds familiar.
She is also in that, what is that, the one with Phoebe...
Bridgers?
So there's like a super band. What was that? I forgot the name of that band.
Super Jail.
It's
Boy
Boy
Meets
Genius.
World.
Boy Genius?
Yes.
So Julian Baker's in Boy Genius, but her solo work, especially like her first album, she was also like 21. grew up really religious, and then found out she is lesbian, and then got addicted to heroin, and then unaddicted, in
Right.
recovery.
Yeah.
And the first album is like, it sounds like somebody like Bruce Springsteen wrote it in his 40s, but it's just like a 21-year-old
That's
girl.
wild.
Woman.
Damn.
Yeah,
I have actually.
I highly recommend.
I
yeah.
listened to Boy Genius before, but I've never listened to like any of their solo stuff. So
Oh, please.
I'm definitely.
I think
looking
you
that
would
up.
really like Julian Baker.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love music that makes me cry.
Yes. There's a song called Rejoice. Oh, please. And then listen just to the album version once, and then find every live version you can, because the live version is so much more
Gut wrenching.
Yeah, fulfilling
Hell yeah. I'm
to your
ready.
soul. Like I was just hearing you talk about the Estelle, and I'm like, oh, I think you would really jam with Julian Baker.
Hell yeah. I'll have to look her up after the pod for
Yeah.
sure.
Nice. I'm
Hell
writing that
yeah.
down for you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Great creative corner.
Oh, and it's also Julien.
Ian.
Thank you.
Yes, that's
My secretary over there.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah, your secretary you can't spell for shit.
Yeah, neither can I.
Indigo
Awesome.
Epsilon. I don't know the military word for N.
That's okay.
Nah.
All right. So next creative corner.
I will go next. So this one is something that I talked about on a previous episode. It wasn't really for our. It wasn't like a creative corner. It was like the distractions episode where we were talking about. But I think it deserves its own creative corner because it's something that means so much to me, and that's Taskmaster. I love Taskmaster. I've seen almost every series because I stopped for a couple of years while they build up stuff. But I watched every single series on repeat like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It didn't matter. It never got old to me. It's such a good show. And the reason I love it is because it allows adults, very funny people, very nice people, respectful people, to just be children again and play games.
Be
and
goofy.
Yeah, be goofy. Do just whatever you want. And watching it and watching people do these tasks that are just so random out of nowhere, and you see who they are on the inside. You see how their brain works, and sometimes they completely just fuck it, and they don't do anything well. I love those episodes where people are just like, oh, I'm panicking. Here's a pillow. That wasn't the task, but just leave me alone. I love Taskmaster so much. And there's so much lore to it, like just for the fact that little Alex Horne created it because he felt so jealous because he missed an Edinburgh festival, and he created this for the next Edinburgh festival as like a one shot, and then it just grew legs and kept walking. One of the one shots they did is where they have all of the champions of the first 5 seasons come on and do a couple. Do another Taskmaster 2 episodes, and one of the winners they had come back, and the way that they give you the tasks, they give you a little envelope and it has a wax seal on it, and they gave it to him, and he had just had a child, and Alex was like, this is for your child, and the task was, have the best, most wonderful life, your time starts now.
Oh.
It's just such a, and that's what I love about the show, because in America, they tried it. They tried having this show because Americans are just so full with this capitalistic rage, and the way that our comedy here is about anger and hatred and just trying to pick at you, and that's funny here. It didn't work. It really didn't work. I think Lisa Lampanelli was on it, and she was just calling Alex the C word the entire time, and it just wasn't. It's not the spirit of
Right.
what it is. Taskmaster is very respectful. They're very nice to each other. They care about each other. The comedy scene there is just something completely different than it is here, and that's why I love watching it, because it's people who clearly respect each other and clearly want to just have fun in a room. Even the pandemic, they had 3 seasons in the pandemic, no audience, and it was amazing. It was still so fucking funny. Yeah. It was so good. I thought it was going to get ruined, but it's not. It's such a great series. I love it so much. There's one for almost every country now. New Zealand has great episodes. Denmark, Sweden, everywhere. It's like a world thing now, except for America, because we fucked it, and we, quite frankly, we don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
But we sent an ambassador, Jason Matzoukis, to be on the latest series, and I know you haven't watched it yet. I've watched a couple episodes so far. He's so good.
Dude,
They're the cast of this series is so good.
I love. I watch it with Nick, and every season I fall in love with one of the contestants. They just become this like emotional support person for me because you fall in love with these people because you're watching them, then you see how they tick and you see their humor, and it's just so funny. I love every single season, and I think I've even told you I don't know how many times that I really want to do a live show.
Yeah,
like I really would love to put because I've over the years, I made my own task ideas. I wrote them down. I'm like, oh, I would love to do this. I would love to do this. And I would really love to do a live show, even if it's just one time. But that is my creative corner. I love Taskmaster so fucking much.
it's a great show.
You have no
really
idea.
is.
And the New Zealand one is even better. Like, I once
Really?
okay, it's a different story. They're very good. Both of them are
Yeah.
very good, different ways. The little Alex Horn of New Zealand is Paul Williams, and I found his music and a long time ago. I used to listen to a lot of New Zealand comedian podcasts and Australian podcasts, and they're all on the fucking show. Like Guy Montgomery from The Worst Idea of All Time was on the second season and fucking killed it. Oh,
Nice.
it's so fucking funny. I love Taskmaster so fucking much, and if you haven't watched it, like they're all free on YouTube. All of
Really?
them. All of them. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all free on YouTube. Just such a wonderful time. It's just you can just sit there and enjoy it over and over and over.
We should go back to the beginning and
Yeah.
watch. from
Genuinely.
I've seen a couple like random episodes here and there,
Yeah.
and I just love British humor so
It's so
much.
good.
It's so much because they'll say something like smart and funny, and the
Yeah.
audience laughs and claps. Well, you can say that in front of an audience here, and they're like, "Say something racist." Yeah, it's just such a night and day experience,
Yeah.
and I love it, and especially when I found it in the pandemic. Helped me through that.
That's when you found it? Was in the
Oh,
pandemic?
yeah.
I don't know why I thought you've been watching it since before then. But
Oh no, I found it in 2020
Damn.
when I was just on YouTube, and then like they just started releasing the episodes online. I started watching it, and I fell in love like that.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
I want my boy Paul F. Tompkins on Taskmaster.
He would
be
kill it.
So
Yeah.
fucking good.
He should
So
be the
good.
little Alex Horn of the American version.
Oh, I would love it.
Oh my
would
god.
love
I feel like he would vet the comedians and people that come on a lot
Oh, yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Than
Oh,
whoever
yeah.
The fuck did it last time?
Lisa Lampanelli.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, half
Good.
of Lisa Lampanelli's appeal is that people hate Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
the joke.
What
Yeah.
a reputation to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
She's like a one of the earlier roast comics.
Right.
Just painting a picture.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
very
know who she
edgy.
is.
Well, that's
I mean, if you were brought onto the roast episodes or whatever they were, you were just already an edgy person.
Right.
I'm gonna look her name up, but keep talking.
Good luck.
Yeah, Ron Funches was on it, so that
I
was
like
actually-
Ron Funches.
Yeah, he was-
Ron Funches is good.
He was pretty good on it, but again, it was a terrible season. They
Yeah.
changed, they made it like a half an hour instead of an hour long, and they did everything that you could do to just really rip
No.
the spirit from it.
We ruin everything.
I've never seen this woman in my life.
Lucky.
She looks like she would complain to a manager.
Yeah, and the only joke on the roast whenever she would show up is like, "Someone would fuck Lisa Lampanelli." Like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
basically,
nice
yeah.
joke.
Yep. Hi. Well, Taskmaster, great show. Very good creative corner.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah. David,
yes.
your
Here-
turn.
it's- I wish I could have 17 creative corners because I already had like 2 or 3 planned,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, if the idea is to spread something that you think more people should be aware of,
Absolutely,
then that's
yeah.
what I'm going to primarily focus on.
Yeah.
And I am a big horror movie guy.
Yeah, let's go.
And the one for me so far this year, it's called The Ugly Stepsister.
Really?
It's a body horror
Okay.
from like I forget if it's Norway or Sweden, but it's through the perspective of Elvira, who is Cinderella's stepsister.
Wait, Elvira's in it?
No, that's the character's name.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the stepsister's name.
Okay, I
So-
was thinking actually Elvira.
Yeah, that's yeah. But so it's like, the evil stepmother's there, and she's got the 2 stepdaughters, and then Cinderella and her dad, and they get married, and then the dad passes away, and they have no money. So like, there's a prince, and whoever marries the prince is going to get money. So the mom tries to put the daughters into like a school for like beauty and like blah blah blah, and the movie does a great job of examining like body image issues that women face.
Let's go.
Yeah,
What's
but
this
like
called?
the ugly stepsister. But as I've learned when I recommended Talk to Me, I do have to stress that the body horror is very gross. This isn't. I'm not going to spoil the real bad stuff, but like, so there's the very popular thing of like, oh, Cinderella's shoe falls off. And then Elvira tries to fit in the shoe, and and that's like a 6 out of 10.
Audience
That's
at
a
home.
6 out of 10 in this movie.
Audience at home, Adele immediately started waving her hands at herself.
Yeah. Like if I could whisper to you what the 10 out of 10 is.
I heard it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I just heard a table, and
It's close enough. Yeah, close enough. It gets real
Yeah.
gross. If you're gonna like, but with that said, there are elements of humor because they keep trying to modify her, like her physical features. But like the idea is that like, and also like the prince is a huge asshole. Yeah, and it's like Elvira has this romanticized version of him, and she thinks that she's going to have this fairy tale wedding. But Cinderella in this is like, she kind of understands like what's happening, and she's just like, so there's like this book of poetry that the prince wrote, and she thinks it's all this romantic stuff, and Cinderella's like, no. It's like he's talking about trying to fuck you.
It's actually not super romantic at all.
Yeah. It's like, and like, so Elvira's like this naive, and then Cinderella's kind of like, hey, like, the world's not as great as you think it is. But like, there's also this stuff of like how it examines like this idea of like how men want women to act. And I don't want to spoil a lot of the stuff. Like there is, like the one that really got me too. And I was like, they try to surgically attach eyelashes.
Oh.
And the thing that really got me is the assistant of the doctor. It is very clear that she like lost her eye in a surgery. So while like the doctor's leaning in, Elvira's just looking past the doctor to this lady with the completely whited out eye, and then it like zooms in like in A Clockwork Orange where they keep the eye open. It's like, this movie. Whoever directed this movie also loves Stanley Kubrick because it's a lot of Clockwork Orange, a lot of Barry Lyndon, and like the shots are great. But I cannot stress that like out of the body horror stuff, like it does. There's some stuff where I'm gonna throw up.
How would you compare it to Talk to Me when it comes to like the comparison of the body
So
horror?
Talk to Me is violent.
Yeah.
It's violent, kind of like horror, body horror. This was like putting the needle through like the bottom, like, and then like so. Here's the thing about the. I mean, it's in the trailer, but like, she tries to get her foot to fit into the thing, and so like I guess, but there's like some other stuff that's just real gross. Like again, she tries to like lose weight, and it's just very extreme stuff. But the thing is like I saw this, and then like a bunch of people like people that are really into horror are like, hey, this is like really good. Like I think it's just because it's a foreign language film, and I think it's one of these like I think it's IFC show. I could be wrong. But it's like they get some kind of promotion, it's on Shudder. But like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this one because like last year for me it was Oddity.
Oh,
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that one's
I
so
watched
good
that
too.
one with
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
And so this was like kind of this so far. I mean, maybe something else surpasses it this year. It's only May. Yeah, it took a little bit. Yeah.
What's today? May.
Yeah. But I really like. I just thought the way it examines themes, and then I really like the way at the end she like, and I don't want to spoil it, but it goes into like the old style kind of folklore because it's like, there are like certain I don't know how to say this, like
Tropes, rules.
tropes and rules, but like about like witches that kind of don't get touched upon a lot, like specifically like physically. I think like the Roald Dahl talked about how like they don't have toes. And this is kind of like, it leads into that kind of stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, like this is like where the witch stuff is like gets into folklore.
Yeah.
And like, and there's, but yeah, it definitely is, I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, real body horror.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want somebody to watch me like, oh, that was messed up. I'm like, yes, I've been saying.
Yes, I'm warning you that.
Yeah. One time I recommended this movie called the Poughkeepsie Tapes. And it's, have you heard of this?
I haven't. I refuse to watch it.
I was at my buddy's house, and his roommate's like, oh, and I told him, like, it's really fucked up, man. And he's like, oh, yeah, all right. And then the next time I saw my buddy's roommate, he's like, yeah, I tried watching with my girlfriend. We didn't even make it past 15 minutes, man. That movie's fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, I told you. He's like,
I explained that.
Yeah,
to you.
I said it, like, multiple times. Like, it's pretty... extremely like
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I guess we just didn't believe you. And then I have 50 minutes in, it's like, what the hell is wrong with my roommate's buddy? Why would he recommend this movie? This is extreme. It's like
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you that.
I'm just trying to have a romantic night with my girlfriend.
because it's like a girl gets abducted, and then it's like a fake documentary about them finding the tapes that the serial abductor made with the girl. Yeah, and it's like there's this famous clip of there where like it's just like a camera in the basement, and he comes out with the mask over his head, but he's like crawling on all fours, and he's got like the old witch doctor kind of mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like.
And
it's and that's like that barely even has anything to do with the other stuff in the movie. Yeah, it's that ending made me just like it's.
Did you have to take a shower after?
Yeah, it's like I couldn't fall asleep because I was disgusted that we live in such a world.
Yeah.
And it's a fake story.
Me every night.
Yeah. But like it's like when I found out about the troubled teen industry and the schooling, the school. But like when I found it's like, oh, this just exists and nobody does anything about it. And then you can just read the reviews right now of schools that are like still up to this day, and it's like 5 out of 10. I sent my kid there and I regret nothing, and then 0 out of 10. I went there. It was torture. Like I got punished because my parents thought I was homosexual. And and it's like, oh, this just continues to exist, and like I'm hearing stories of like sometimes the kids would like escape and they would go to like the closest diner. And the diner's like used to it, so they call the cops to bring the kids back.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
like when I found out, I couldn't fall asleep till 3 a.m. when I got into that rabbit hole. Oh, like the
God
Elon
damn.
school, not like the Elon guy, but like that, like in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Where everyone just like screams at each other and like it's super abusive, and like that just like that never stopped. It just went around with different names.
Yeah, we have
to this day.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend who actually had to go to one of those troubled schools and dropped out immediately because it was not the thing. I'll tell you off mic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
damn.
like,
yeah, but here's also I listen to your opinion on movies because you see everything. That's what I've been told about you is like you see everything. So
Even the bad ones.
yeah. So I will listen to you on your recommendations, but at the same time, there are some movies you don't have to watch. They might be amazing, but if they're gonna wreck your mind, you don't have to watch them.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I still haven't seen The Substance because I am a baby and don't want to throw up.
I'm going to tell you this. This movie is what I think The Substance wanted to be.
Oh,
this is
damn.
like if a Substance was an 8 out of 10, this was the 10 out of 10. Here's what I will say about The Substance. I thought it was a good movie, but there's this kind of like second layer of like this is happening in Hollywood. And so a lot of people involved are kind of part of the problem.
Right.
And that's how I felt about the movie being nominated for an Oscar. It's like, why are you guys voting for this? This is about you.
Right.
Did you watch the movie? Like,
Did you get the movie?
yeah, you're the Dennis Quaid's.
You created the problem to
Yeah.
solve the problem.
Yeah, you created the problem, and now you're patting yourself on the back for slightly recognizing the problem you've created. Like, so this movie, because it's set in like, the Cinderella story, I feel like I liked it more because there wasn't this kind of like tiny bit of hypocrisy, I guess.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah. And
It's like when Netflix makes a Squid Game in real life.
Right.
It's like, you know what the point?
Yeah.
It's
So-
like, what if we made it dystopian?
Yeah. Well, it was called the
Ugly
the
Stepsister.
ugly stepsister. Okay, I feel like I heard about that somewhere, but it might have
Probably
been
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from you.
I'd be down to watch that with you too.
Which
I would.
I can watch
Yeah,
it by
sounds the
myself.
same.
if you wanna watch it.
well, I got to be in a mood to watch it.
Yes,
so
also
if I-
that.
Has to be
yeah.
in the mood.
Not that mood.
Tim,
But
why aren't you
that-
in the mood?
That is a good creative corner, but also that's kind of a good transition into why
Nice
I
switch.
brought you
Yeah.
on for this episode
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Just,
Uh,
if you could pause, because my original one that I wanted to talk, which goes into the troubled teen industry, and I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to put this in the.
No, you're good.
The song I was gonna talk about was the best death metal band out of Denton by the Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
It's about like these two guys like making a metal band in like somewhere in Texas.
Yeah.
And one like and then they find out they have like the teachers find out they have pentagrams, so they send one of the kids to a troubled teen school. And then but the whole song is, I really like, just for you guys to recommend. It's such a, like, for me, that's like one of those songs where the first time I heard it, it moved me.
yeah.
And like
It was that loud. It was pushing you.
yeah, yeah. It so it because it has this idea at the end. He's just saying "Hail Satan" over and over,
Nice.
and because he says that and I heard the guy that from the Mountain Goats talk about why he wrote it, and he says that in sometimes "Hail Satan" could mean things of celebration, and I know that's what the interpretation is. But I don't care. I think that the idea is that this is the two. They're not real people, but they're based off of real people. But the two people in the song, this is their last bit of kind of rebellion that they have. And I'm like, oh yes,
Yeah, let's
you know
go.
what I mean?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I
it's
understand.
like they're one of them is being sent off. They're both angry. They have no power because they're so they're just like, well, hail Satan
Yeah. And
in
you know
your
what?
face.
And you know what? Hail Satan.
Yes. So that's the one I wanted to, but then I thought the movie stuff would fit better. So sorry to go off tangent.
No, you're fine. And actually, we recorded all that, and what'll happen is I'm probably going to take the song one, and if we do another like cutting room floor episode, like that's going to go in as like a bonus.
I do. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did have one episode. One episode. I did have one question about the ugly stepsister.
Yeah.
Subtitles.
Yes. I will say this. It's a real little bit. The movie is financed through countries that give a shit about films have
Yeah.
public funds used for
Yeah.
filming.
Yeah.
Because they give a shit.
Yeah.
So
Where are these places?
everywhere but the U.S. actually.
Yeah.
Sad.
So because of that, the Norway, Sweden, and Poland invested money into this movie. So there is in that school, the dance teacher, which also there's this slightly where the two ladies running the school, there's a Polish dance teacher and a Scandinavian manners and looks, and it is very heavily implied that they are.
Together.
Yes. Yeah, and it's just a little thing at the end, and I'm like, ah! but the Polish dance teacher, only half the stuff she says will be subtitled. This was not affected to me because I understood all of the Polish. So I'm waiting for the subtitles. It's real quick because it's just pick your head up, because she's telling them to dance. But when she has longer sentences, it will be subtitled.
Yeah.
Everything else is subtitled to the best of my knowledge. There's just a couple of quick, not little, little Polish words that aren't subtitled. But you can gather what's happening.
Right.
Contextual.
My only thing is if you're gonna go through all that work to make a movie, it should just be in English.
Foreshadowing.
So you've been saying you don't want to do a movie podcast when we got this guy?
I was gonna say if we do pivot to a movie podcast, we have a fourth host.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah, again, very very good example of why I asked David to be on this episode specifically. Dave is my go-to guy talking movies, and I love it because I'll watch a movie that sucks, and sometimes I'll talk to David about it, and he'll be like, bro, you know the movies I watch. That was like an okay sucks
Yes.
movie.
There are some real stinkers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This is just for the room. You can cut this out, but like, just talking to Davey is just. I want to keep talking about these movies forever.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a 3-hour episode.
Probably. Yeah, you're going to have to edit the first hour and a half, and I'll edit the back hour and a half.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, well, are we ready to jump into this episode of Home Movies?
I thought this was the end of the episode.
Yeah. Are we ready to end this movie podcast and jump into this home movie podcast?
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's going to do it for this episode of Rewatching Home Movies. Join us next week for Season 4, Episode 5, The Wizard's Baker. If you liked what you heard, check out our Linktree at linktree/RHMPod. There you can like, follow, and subscribe. Send us an email to request free stickers or leave us a 5-star review. I will read 5-star reviews on the podcast. Like this one from Friend. Like Tim, I'm obsessed with home movies, and I look forward to this podcast every Monday morning. Thank you, Friend. And also, thank you, Nick, for the refresh of our logo, and Chris Bongat for the lo-fi version of our theme song. On behalf of myself, Tim, and my co-host Marcin, and Adele, thank you for rewatching home movies with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.